You're tuned in to Steve Megatron on Altered Geek Unlimited.
Hello and welcome to Altered Geek Unlimited. I'm your host Steve Megatron Phillips, and joining me back from the great beyond.
Oh, come on. It's not like I died and came back. I'll take it. You always sound more enthusiastic than I am when we do these recordings. I think it's just the way that you start the show off. But,
it's because I throw on the game face and then
just rip it off like a Band-Aid.
Yep.
Let's go with.
Usually my enthusiasm goes down the longer I record, so.
Yeah, I think that can be said about most things. The longer something goes on, enthusiasm just drops for it anyways. But yes, Michael Powers, I am here. I don't know when I'll be back, but I'm here tonight to fill your ear holes with some of my awesome goodness. So...
And I'm hoping to have you back in regular rotation. It's just crazy how life lately.
Yeah, and my life has kind of gotten... I'm getting ready to go through a big change. Mm-hmm. If I really try, I may be able to be on... I don't want to commit to anything because I don't want to get anyone's hopes up. But possibly I could probably do the next 2 Thursdays. So the reason being is all this week, for the next week, my wife and I, we're going to be packing. I don't know if I ever brought this up.
I think at one point you may have brought up what you were hoping to happen.
Okay, and I think that was when it was...
That was like last year.
Well, when the job first, when this opportunity first presented itself, it was in 2014, spring of 2014. So it would have been 2 years ago. I had an opportunity to go work for a company called Christie Digital Systems. And let me just say I didn't get the job 2 years ago. So I have spent the last 2 years applying for various positions with the company and various locations throughout the greater U.S. In hopes of being able to land a job. Earlier this year, I had a little nibble on the lure, if you will. It was for a job. It was for an opportunity to relocate to South Carolina. I jumped through a number of hoops, and ultimately, I lost that position to a gentleman that was already with the company. And then a position in Ohio. Oh God, Ohio. I've learned something.
Okay.
If I mention Ohio to anybody and they cringe in any way, 99% of the time they're a sports fan.
Yep. I think I watched your comments go on that the other day.
And that's true. I'm sports agnostic. So I have no, I don't care if you're a Michigan State U of M fan and you hate Ohio State. That's great. That's fine. But I got the job in Columbus, Ohio,
which is awesome.
It is. It's fantastic. Could not be happier. It's a total game changer for my wife and I. Big step, not necessarily like a huge step for me considering how my life has gone, but it's definitely the biggest move my wife has ever had. Excuse me. It puts us about 3 hours and 45 minutes away from our family, which not a deal. And we are moving down there. We don't know anyone in the area, so it's just gonna be her and I, and hopefully we don't kill each other, Shining style, in the first month of being down there by ourselves. But to be fair, we exist kind of by ourselves. I mean, I interact with you, Steve, every once in a while. We get together and go see a movie. but a lot of my interactions with friends has been online
Mm-hmm.
for the last few years. So that's not going to change. Location doesn't change that. Thanks to the power of the internet.
Yes.
So not too worried about anything like that, but definite game changer, and really really excited for the move, um, for a couple of reasons. One, where we're moving in Columbus is actually pretty cool. We went down there for a day. We went and spent a day down there because we were looking for a place to live. End of that story is we found a nice place to live. But we got to see some of the northeastern side of Columbus, which is kind of around Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks really nice. I'm about a 10-minute drive from a shopping center called the Easton Town Center. It's an outdoor shopping mall that looks like a 1950s city main street.
Okay.
But it was planned. It's not like it was a city. It's not like it was a main street in Columbus and then they turned it into something that it wasn't. This was like planned to be a giant shopping center, but instead of having little mom and pop stores or stores you've never heard of, there's like a Tesla dealership, a Tiffany's, an Apple store, um, all like all high profile. Yeah, all high brand stuff. And I was just like, I'm home. Um, and then, so I'm kind of excited about that because all the places I like to shop are so close. Where we live, we usually have to drive 45 minutes to an hour to find those stores. So it's nice to only have to go 2 minutes. And the even crazier thing is, I'm 10 minutes south is where Easton is, and 15 minutes north is where another giant shopping center is that has all the same stores.
Nice.
So that's cool because I like to shop. And then the thing I'm most excited about I always geek out over internet. Oh, I go out over internet. And it turns out that the place that we're moving offers 300 meg internet for $75 a month.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's awesome.
I'm stoked to try that out. Truth be told, I'm moving into a townhouse, not a home. Anyone knows how like internet works in apartments and stuff like that. Sometimes you can end up with congestion. So I'm gonna be interested to see what my actual speeds end up being. But I'm paying $75 a month right now for 100 meg internet. So I'll just keep paying the same price, and anything over 100 megabytes I get is awesome.
Yeah, really.
The company is called WoW. I've never really heard of them. They actually service, according to their website, they actually offer services in southeast Michigan,
Okay.
a couple of southeast Michigan, a lot of cities in Ohio, some place down in Georgia and South Carolina and stuff like that. But what I found out is, you know how Netflix always does like their speed index for ISPs?
Yep.
They are, if you go to that site and you say I want to see all available ISPs, WoW is listed third out of all of them. The closest name brand one that I saw on the list was Verizon Fios, and they were sixth. So, kind of excited about that because my wife and I stream everything.
Yeah, we're kind of at that point now too that nothing kind of we don't really watch television unless it's like a new show, like a new episode of a show. Well, even then we don't even watch it really anymore because my wife really doesn't watch TV anymore. And then I've kind of cut down on the shows I watch because I was watching about 24 different shows as they were airing, of course. But I've cut my list down to 16. So, because I realized I was wasting my life in front of the television.
Yeah, that happens.
So, I'm sure that'll change when the new shows start up this fall, but time will tell.
I cut way back this last season, but what I feel like I cut back on was downloading my TV shows. Because I sense of if I can stream it legally, I won't download it anymore.
Makes sense.
And that's kind of where I ended up. So and what I also found really interesting was the shows that I ended up downloading, I didn't really watch all that much of. So it's almost like I could just stop watching those. So it was interesting to see that come about. But, life gets in the way, and then eventually you end up coming back to that stuff anyways. So yeah, long story short, I've been busy with that. I had some other family things that I don't really want to get into.
Which I think I saw it, but I'll leave that alone.
So there's that, and then let's see. Yeah. So I told my wife, like, I think I have what I thought of the tournament before on my way home tonight from work, which today was my last day at Best Buy. Freaking felt great to be done there. I'm done at the movie theater. Sorry.
Oh, how bad was how was working at Best Buy? Just out of curiosity.
Honestly, because it wasn't like my job. Not bad. I never really dreaded going in for a shift, but yesterday and today being my last two shifts, it was just like, oh, I want them to be over. But it's that the light at the end of the tunnel, and I've got this big life-changing event coming up, and I kind of wanted to hurry up and get here, and like these last 2 days were just kind of in the way. So it wasn't like I was irritated with the job all of a sudden or anything like that. It wasn't anything. Plus, the discounts were great. Can't go wrong with that. But no, I enjoyed it. I like the people that I work with. I actually regret more leaving Best Buy than I do the theater. And I think that's because I get to interact with people at Best Buy. And
you're very knowledgeable.
Yeah. And at the theater, I'm stuck in a room by myself for most of the time, unless I go and find someone to talk to, But it was good, but it obviously something better came along, so definitely time to move along. But that said, it kind of gets me back to what I was getting ready to talk about, though, was I've dubbed a term excitement paralysis.
Okay.
I've got like way too many things to look forward to / be excited about right now that I don't know which one to be more excited about than the other. So like I'm just like I come across as being like nothing. Like I'm excited, but you can't tell. Because I don't know what to be more excited for, if you will. So one of those I already talked about because I'm such a freaking internet snob and nerd. I'm really excited about that 300 meg internet, right? Also, I'm really excited to start the new job, like just super excited. And then I went all in. My last week at Best Buy, I decided to use my discount in a major way, and I bought myself a new TV.
What kind did you get?
I went with after researching it for a couple months, I have a Vizio P series right now from 2014. And after researching it for the last couple months and reading the AVS forums, I decided I went with the 2016 P series from Vizio.
What size?
So I went 65.
What was it again?
65.
Oh, wow.
So I have a 60-inch right now, 60-inch P series, and I love it. And to be completely honest with you, there's nothing really wrong with the TV in any way, shape, or form. But the new one is a little more future forward thinking in terms of what it offers on it. It has a better color in the panel, and where my current one has 64 dimmable zones in the TV that help enhance the contrast of the picture. Mm-hmm. The new one has 128. So it has more fine-tuned control over, brighter whites and deeper blacks. And I know talking about that now, after saying I've worked for Best Buy, it sounds like a shill, but that's not what this is. But I had my eye on it for a while. Especially, it's a great gaming TV as well as for movie watching, which is primarily what I use it for. Plus, they did something kind of interesting that I'm really kind of excited to try out. The two high-end Vizio TVs, the M series and the P series, they aren't classified as televisions any longer.
Hmm.
Because Vizio took the an Apple-like stance, if you will, and they removed the tuners from the televisions.
So it runs on like an app system now?
No, well, kinda. So, basically, for something to be classified as a TV, they have to have a tuner built into it. And for anyone that doesn't know, the tuner is that basically that little part that you screw your coaxial cable into, where you would plug in like a RF modulator if you're playing an NES or a Super Nintendo, or an antenna.
Okay.
If you have to have one of those in order to be considered a TV, which is why computer monitors aren't considered televisions because they don't have those.
I never knew that.
So what Vizio did is they looked at their market or what the market was doing and the way that people were starting to consume media, and they decided to remove the tuner to keep costs down a little bit. How much you actually save from removing a tuner, I do not know. Given that they're so ubiquitous, you could probably throw a stone and hit one for like 3 cents, right? But they decided to remove it, so they're no longer called TVs. They actually call them home theater displays. And Vizio's never had the greatest smart TV platform on the planet. Their smart TV platform has always been functional, but not great. And when it comes to getting the support from companies like HBO or Netflix or Hulu or anything like that, they were always last in line to have the apps on their TVs updated. Okay. And sometimes they wouldn't get updated at all. So what they did is they also dropped the smart TV platform from the TV itself. They partnered with Google.
That's smart.
And they built, you know what a Chromecast is, right?
Yep.
Well, Google's rebranding that as Google Cast. And they built Google Cast into the TV.
Okay.
So now you use your smartphone or your tablet to find what you want to stream, and then you throw it to the TV. And since the apps on your smartphone or tablet are always being updated by the people that make, by Netflix and HBO and Hulu and stuff like that, they're always up to date. And the TV can always accept that stuff.
Interesting.
So it's a neat idea. Plus the TVs also, like if you don't have a smartphone or a tablet or anything like that, the TVs themselves come with a 7-inch Android tablet that is the remote for the TV.
That's cool.
And they have a really cool, there's no menus built into the TV. So like if you want to do like change the color and contrast settings and stuff like that, none of that stuff shows up on the TV anymore. It's all done on the remote. Or on the tablet. So you can make tweaks while you're watching something without having half the TV eaten up by menu systems. So you get a better idea of what you're doing is actually affecting the picture.
Wow.
It's a cool idea. It also comes with like the standard, it has 5 HDMI inputs, so you can hook up a ton of stuff to it. A couple of audio out ports for running stuff out to a receiver if that's what you want to do. Things like that. It's not, but it just doesn't have the ability to have over the air. It doesn't have the ability to have an antenna hooked up to it. That's not saying you couldn't get an adapter for an antenna that plugs into an HDMI port. It's just that you can't plug an antenna directly into it. And we've had a lot of issues with that at Best Buy. Like a lot of them that have been sold have come back because either the salesperson didn't inform the customer. You know what? I'll err on the side of us. The salesperson didn't inform the customer that it didn't have a tuner in it. Customer gets the TV home, finds out they can't hook up their antenna, and they bring it back.
Okay.
So it's one it's one of those things where the consumer needs to be educated, and they need to be asked if when they're purchasing said TV if they have a cable box or if they're using an antenna. And if we don't do that, then we're not doing our job. So. But no, I get it tomorrow. I'm really excited. But today, I learned that we changed our delivery policy, which kind of bums me out. I have to see how it goes because I've never had anything delivered from them. But the delivery policy from Best Buy when you have a TV delivered is that they would bring the TV into your home, take it out of the box, put it on the stand, hook up one device to it to ensure that it's working properly. I rang out a gentleman today, and according to the lingo on the paperwork that I give him, we just drop the TVs off now.
Oh, so they don't even set them up?
No, and it kind of bums me out because I'm going to be home by myself tomorrow, and there's no way. Like, I have to move my old TV out of the entertainment center and then move the new TV into the entertainment center. And I'm by myself. I can't move a 60-inch TV by myself. And I definitely can't move a 65-inch TV by myself. So, I mean, I always am jumping the gun. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but I'm kind of bummed. But anyways, I'm really excited for the TV because I'm a videophile, or I like to pretend to be a videophile. I did a lot of research. It was either going to be, the P series or or an OLED television from LG. And when it came down to it, the Vizio just gave me more along the lines of what I was looking for. Plus, this is going to sound really dumb. I don't think I'm ready for an OLED television. Like, I feel like that picture is too good.
So you feel like you still need the
LCD. I need that look that LCD gives. And I really don't know how to explain it, but if you're a videophile or you love movies, the holy grail is always pure black. And an OLED television like a plasma can deliver pure black. And I don't think I'm ready for that. Because that's a big change, because everything I have is an LCD panel. Like, my computer's LCD, my iPad's LCD, my iPhone's LCD, all of my TVs are LCD. Like, that's how that stuff looks. I expect blacks to be like black but not quite black. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that kind of like almost like extremely dark gray.
Yeah, like a really extremely dark gray. And like I kind of jinxed myself by going, I don't think I'm ready for pure black. I feel like pure black won't look right. And then I kind of justified it too. Like, the OLED televisions, the input lag on an OLED television is twice as long as the input lag on my Vizio, the new Vizio. So I didn't want the input lag to go back up. Like, I came from a TV set that did 50 or 60 milliseconds to a TV that only has 20 milliseconds, and I didn't want to go back to that. Even if it was going to be better for movies, I didn't want to sacrifice the game. I feel like the Vizio is a happy medium between playing games and watching movies.
Yeah, I have LCD monitors for my computers, but I don't have an LCD television. I still have a plasma.
You're lucky.
Yeah, it was one of the last ones on the market, I guess, at the time when I was cashing in my warranty. And I've got a Samsung 50-inch plasma, and it's thankfully it's still working with no issue. But
yeah, I kind of wish I would have. When I first found out about the Vizio P series, I was researching plasma televisions, and I know I talked about this on the podcast a long time ago. But my wife and I sat down to watch Phantom of the Opera, and I had just read some interesting behind the scenes thing about the movie Seven, and how it was filmed or produced, and I knew that my TV was never going to give me that image, that my current TV was never going to give me that image because of it being an edge-lit television. And I was watching Phantom of the Opera, and then I kind of saw that, and I was not very happy with the picture of that. So I began researching plasma televisions. And I couldn't find one that fit in my entertainment center. Like, buying a plasma television was at the time have me have to get an entirely different entertainment center. And then Vizio dropped the bomb that they were going to produce 4K televisions for $1,000. So I was like, sold, done. So, but yeah, ever since I started working there, I kept telling the guys, I said I was gonna get an OLED, and then Vizio announced the refresh for the P series, and that made me look that way, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that, and I was really good. I was really glad that I was finally able to put my money where my mouth was, even if it was the last week I was there. So, I don't want to say what I got the TV for, but I will say that I got the um, well, people can do the math themselves, but I won't say what I won't actually say what I got it for. But I got the TV, 5 years of protection, um, calibration, and a brand new cable modem that's capable of 1 gigabit per second.
Nice.
For the cost of just the TV with taxes.
Huh.
So, and before anyone jumps in the comments, or if anyone wants to jump in the comments and blast me for getting calibration done on my TV, one of the reasons I got it is because of the type of TV that it is, and two, it cost me practically nothing to get it done. I haven't had it done yet, and I won't get it done until like after September, because you have to wear the TV in a little bit. But I've never had it done, and it was so cheap. I was like, I think I want to try it. So I was like, why not? Because even if you do a proper calibration, which I don't, if they do a proper calibration, that's fine. It's great. It's not like you can't undo what they did,
Yeah.
Excuse me. If you do a proper calibration, it can theoretically prolong the life of the TV. So it's kind of protecting your investment a little bit. But anyways, that's I know I've been talking and you've been interjecting some things, helping me keep the conversation going. But
no, I mean, I've been interested. I haven't physically looked at anything outside of software and the website in ages. And various pop culture things that have popped up. So, like, hearing a tech perspective is kind of refreshing.
I will say a couple of other interesting things that have happened to me. I'm not sure if I brought this up before, but I've been playing a lot of The Division, which came out back in March.
Mm-hmm.
I put about 20 days into it, which I put about 6 days into Fallout 4. So I put 20 days in The Division. But I pretty much stopped playing that like cold turkey, because while they have supported that game wonderfully, and they've made a lot of wonderful changes to the game, the changes that they made help out people that didn't put the amount of time into the game that I did. So even after they made the changes, yeah, it was stuff for me to do, and it was new and interesting things for me to do, but the rewards I was getting for doing those things, I already gotten better things by putting in 20 days worth of playtime. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Like, there weren't any rewards for me. There were rewards for people like my wife or Joe, who have maybe put in like a few days worth of playtime, and they're able to catch up to what I have for putting in more time.
Ah, okay.
So I'm excited to get to like the more meatier stuff, which is like the DLC, like the paid DLC, and that's actually coming in August to the PS4. It's out now on Xbox One, but I'm really looking forward to that stuff. So I'm sure I'll jump back into it. The other game that I've heard of, if anyone's following online gaming in general, is Overwatch.
Yeah, I've seen people play Overwatch. It looks really interesting and very fast paced. I just myself, I'm more of the, and I think if it were free, I would get it. But being that I don't have the income capacity at this point, I'm playing Battlefield 4 that my family bought for me, and then just so that I could play the game with them, and I've been playing that on the Xbox, but we'll get back to that part later. But I've also been playing now that I can actually tell everybody. Battlefield 1 closed alpha.
Cool.
I've been playing that for about 7 days now, and I'm really enjoying it. So, again, back to your Overwatch.
Yeah, no, we can come back to Battlefield 1 because I kind of want to know about that game, but I kind of don't. not to be a
that's
wet
fine.
blanket or anything. But anyways, Overwatch. It's a hard sell. It's a real hard sell. I originally had the game pre-ordered and it was set for delivery, and I ended up canceling the pre-order because it was actually being released on the same day that Division was releasing one of its big patches. And I was like, well, there's no way I'm going to play Overwatch, because I've got new content coming for the Division, right? So I didn't want to waste the money. Well, I ended up selling my Xbox One, and I got $350 for it.
Nice.
I sold it for $350. It was one that came. It was like an original one. It came with the Kinect. I sold it with the 3 games that I had. So the guy got a pretty good deal for it, I think, in my opinion, especially for a system that had only been on for maybe 12 hours the entire time I had it. But I sold mine. All of a sudden, the only one of my friends that has an Xbox One is Shanzi. But Danner also had one because anyone that also might remember, I bought Danner an Xbox One so him and I could play Titanfall. And he said, so now I'm the only one of us besides Shanzi that has an Xbox One. And I said, yeah. And he goes, and I said, you can sell it. He goes, you don't mind, because I'd gotten it for him as a gift. And I said, I sat on it for a second. I said, if you buy me a copy of Overwatch for the PS4, you can go ahead and sell the Xbox One. So he ended up getting me a digital copy of Overwatch for my PS4. It's the first AAA digital game that I have. I don't think it's going to get me to buy, digital only or anything like that, but it's nice to be able to switch between 2 AAA games without having to swap discs. But so Overwatch it's a hard sell. I don't think I would have paid $60 for it if I hadn't gotten it as a gift. I probably would have tried to ask for it for like a birthday present or extorted out a Danner like I did, or Christmas or something like that, where you can I got Battlefront for Christmas. I enjoy Battlefront, but I didn't pay for Battlefront.
That's kind of like me with Battlefield 4. I enjoy it, but I didn't pay for it.
Right, exactly. So, but Overwatch is a hard sell. It's really fun though, and it took me maybe 2 or 3 days to realize why it's so fun. You're never penalized in the game. Everything is positively reinforced, and I understand if you're not a fan of that, the whole "no child left behind" mentality. Everyone gets a ribbon at the county fair, or we're gonna do a graduation ceremony because you made it out of 5th grade. Like, I understand if you're one of those people that hates those things. I mean, I'm kind of there with you.
I'm kind of in that same boat, but like at the same time, like I don't mind in a game.
Yeah, it's weird because with Call of Duty, you're so concerned with your kill death ratio. I can't tell you what my kill death ratio is in Overwatch. I have no idea. All I'm ever rewarded with is what I contributed to the game. It never shows me what I did bad. It only shows me what I did to contribute to the win. And that is amazing, I think. Because the one thing I've noticed about Overwatch is that you only win by playing objectively. Like, you can't win by killing the other team. You have to capture the objectives that they give you in the map, or you don't win. You either have to capture or defend, but there is no winning by just killing people. And that's great. And the other nice thing about it too is you have the ability to play against bots.
Okay.
So, and there's like 3 different difficulty settings for the bots. There's like easy, where they kind of rush you in like one single direction in like a horde, and you can just mow them down. I usually put it on medium because they move around a little more. There's a little more AI to them, but they're still kind of easy. But if I want to feel good about myself, I put it on medium. but I've never had a bad time playing against real people. Because like I said, it's all positive reinforcement. Even if you do bad, when the match is over, all you do is see what you did good. And it's fantastic. I'm not recommending anyone go out and like grab it because there's no story mode to the game, like none whatsoever. There is a story, but it's told in YouTube videos, like Blizzard CGI YouTube videos and cartoons.
I thought that this was a Blizzard game, and typically I like Blizzard's games. The sole exception being WoW. I know I'm going to catch hate for that, but I could never get into it. Plus, the game just looks so crappy to me.
I've never even touched the game, and I don't plan to touch it.
I had a buddy I went to high school with that tried to get me to play it, and I was like, dude, this is just crap. It was utter crap. I just couldn't get into the game. But I've been a longtime fan of Diablo and StarCraft, so it's mostly Diablo. So to me, that I'm interested to play it eventually, but I'm not in any hurry to get it.
I think we should see if there's a night where you can come over and try it before I leave.
Yeah, we could do that.
I mean, any day next week that's not Tuesday works for me. I just have to let Allie know, but it's fantastic, and it feels good. It runs, it's on my stuff on console. On PS4, it's 60 frames a second at 1080p. It's bright, it's colorful, it's fast, but it's not like too fast that you have no idea what's going on. You're not penalized for switching characters. In fact, if you find that you're getting stomped using one character, like it's a good idea to switch characters. And then when you're building like a team, like when it's 6v6, so when you're loading up and you're trying to create your team based off of the characters that are given, the game gives you little tool tips. It'll be like, there's too many heavies, or not enough builders, or no healers, or not enough defense, or not enough offense. Like, it gives you little tidbits so that everyone can try to pick a different role and play a different role.
So you can self-balance yourselves.
Yeah, and you're not penalized. Everyone can pick the same character. There's some times where I'll be in a lobby playing with just a bunch of random people, and I'll be like, "Hey, everyone pick this character," and everyone will pick that character, and we'll get destroyed because everyone's playing as the same character. But it's still fun. So, on that, I'll say one last little thing. Complete aside, but on this just made my day. My wife has been asking me to go through a couple boxes to see what I actually wanted to keep and what I wanted to get rid of. And I've been putting it off. Well, last summer, in an effort to spruce up the desk in my den, I got out all of my iPhone boxes. Like, I have all the boxes for my iPhones, all the way from the first one to the iPhone 6S. Okay, except one was missing, and it really bummed me out. I didn't have my box for the iPhone 3G. And my wife has been telling me, go through these boxes. I went through the boxes tonight. The box for the iPhone 3G was in there. So now I have all the boxes for all the iPhones I've ever had.
That's funny.
It's me. Like, I like collecting things, and it's just, I don't know. It's cool to see how the boxes have changed because the phones have changed so much. I don't know. It's just a little something, and I get to stare at it while I record podcasts and see all the cool boxes.
Evolution of
packaging.
Of stuff.
Yep. Evolution of stuff. So that's me. That's what I've been up to. New job, new TV, faster internet speeds. I'm actually feeling really good. I'm awake right now. Holy crap. I'm feeling really good right now.
That's good.
Yeah. So what do you got, Steve?
Well, I've spent, I don't know, the last 6 months working on the Geekcast radio site, only to have, on launch day, issues galore. I had I launched the site under the new domain, I put a redirect on the old site so that when you went there, it went to the new site. Well, then the problem was we were having back-end server issues because apparently the host I switched to, and this has happened before, couldn't handle the memory usage of the website. And I'm like, okay, but I know several other websites that are geek-related like us that have just as much crap running on their back end and have just as many files, and they don't have a problem. And so they're trying to pinpoint and blame it on the site, and I'm like, I've never had this issue on my current host. And they were like, well, we don't know what to tell you. You know, basically gave me the, this list of things that it could be, and it was none of those things because I'd already gone through everything and turned off anything that didn't need to be on. And so anyways, it irritated the crap out of me. So I spent the duration of the day, I found this nice WordPress duplicator software while I was in process of moving This Week in Geek from one server, basically I moved it from Steve Snowball Sailor's account to Birdman Dodd's account. That was the main issue. And so I figured out also how to move it from a subdomain to a main domain and keep the site intact. Well, what it does is it makes a copy of your entire WordPress install and anything in that directory, as well as the database. And so I had to move any extremely large files out temporarily and then move them back in afterward after doing the duplication. So anyways, I did that with all of my sites that are on this same host that we're using, and had moved them all already doing this. And then I had to move them all back and all the domains back. And so I was a bit frazzled. And then I rebuilt the site again for the third time, Geekcast Radio. And I moved it into a subdomain. And then I moved it into the main domain. And then it's just been a headache. And so I killed essentially the one that's on the other host. I have it there temporarily, but it's got like a redirect, so it goes right back to Geekcast Radio. I'm still having issues with the comments section, like as far as it reading in WordPress, but everything else works great. So I can't really complain too much for having to rebuild the entire site in under 3 days. But I really like how it's turned out so far.
Yeah, it looks really good, especially, the first time I went to look at it was on my iPhone, and I thought it looked much better than it has in the past. And I looked at it right before we started recording, actually in a browser, and you did a good job. Looks really good.
Thanks. Yeah, one of the big things I was trying to, when I found a theme that I liked, was I'll come clean on it. I actually bought one.
No.
Yeah.
Steve spending money.
Well, this is what I figured. We've had people donate to the site over the last year and a half.
Oh, I see. You're embezzling money.
I'm not embezzling. I'm reinvesting in the site. I'm doing what I couldn't afford to do before, which was get legal software and legal stuff like the Geekcast Radio theme that's on the podcast. I got that off Fiverr using it. I got the website from it. A couple of the plugins that are like I have this IMDb plugin that's in there that when you put in the link for an IMDb entry, it automatically fills in with the poster and any corresponding information. So like when I've done my top 25s or top 20s of certain movies or television shows, it auto-populates the information without me having to host the basically organize the data of the film or the television show. But I have a plan to utilize that later in articles every month that I'm hoping to get in there. Plus, so I mean, there's been a lot of stuff that I've been able to actually get that we needed that I couldn't get before. So that's been very helpful. And then so like everything in the site actually works because when I was getting the bootleg stuff, I was running into issues all the time. Like one of them specifically was a couple of years ago. It didn't matter where you went on the site. There was an occasion here or there where some piece of malware that was in it, and it didn't affect anybody. All it did was redirect the site to like a Justin Bieber YouTube video.
I remember that.
And it wasn't anything harmful. It just it was like a malicious, like, haha, you have a bootleg, so I'm going to send you over here. So I figured out where that was in the code and removed it at one point, but I ended up I had to buy legit on everything. I didn't feel right not doing it, so I don't know. Maybe it's because I've gotten to the point where I'm realizing that it costs money to do things.
And that's I don't think that that's a bad thing to realize, especially when there's something you can do about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, because then I'm funding the person that created the content, that I'm using. Also,
the one thing I've noticed, stuff works so much better when you pay for it.
I know, and I've had no headaches with it, and then I actually had a issue while I was testing the site before we launched, where I couldn't get something to show up like it was in the demo of the theme, and I was able, actually, because I have support for it, because I bought it, I was able to ask the guy how to do it, and he's like, oh yeah, you just do this, 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 and this, and then I was like, oh, that's so much simpler than I thought it had to be. And it was spectacular. So like I've really enjoyed this version of the site particularly. I won't be changing the site design for the foreseeable future, thankfully, due to this, because the reason why we switched themes like 3 times in the last 2 years is because, again, bootleg and not working properly in certain areas. So and plus they just looked cluttered, and this looks like clean.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to do away with anything that was confusing by any means, and a lot of stuff's tabbed on the site, so you can specifically choose what you want to see. Mm-hmm. If you want to see more of something, that way it's not, I don't know, I didn't want it very cluttered graphically, so, and then a lot of the old imagery from the back end, like I purged like 7 years of the media library.
Okay.
And I started over fresh, because what happened is we had so many broken images, plus I purged all of these shows that are retired or no longer there until I rebuild their sections, because what I was running into too was the database and the site was so comprehensive over the last 7 years that it was bogging itself down.
Okay.
Because, you figure you get 120 posts for Tooncast Classic, and that show's been retired since 2011. And, just all of those, a lot of shows like that, there were just hundreds of posts relating to those shows that were just killing the site. So I think it's going to work a lot better now. And then, aside from that, while I was working on the site Tuesday, I want to say, no, Friday, I got I got alpha access for Battlefield 4 or Battlefield 1. I keep saying the other because I've been playing them. And I was kind of surprised. I was like, oh, that's really awesome. Because my brothers and my dad all paid to pre-order the game.
Okay.
And they bought the collector edition, like whatever it comes with like a bunch of extra skins and crap that I really don't care about.
Yeah, that's how it always is.
And they spent $79 on that, and just to get the game itself. If you spent the $79, you get $3 or 3-day early access to the game. But if you spend the $59, you get the game. And I don't have any money to buy the game. And they're like, oh, did you pre-order? And I'm like, I don't have any money. I'm like, I spent, $6,000 on putting a roof on my house. Recently, I had to pay almost $400 to have a new front door put on because of the type of front door.
Real quick, I'm curious. Is it you're getting on a PC, right? Or
Yes.
yes,
I don't
okay.
have an Xbox One, so I'm
Okay.
doing PC strictly at
Can
this point.
I could be wrong. Can you uh pre-order PC games on Amazon?
Yeah.
When you pre-order stuff on Amazon, you pay nothing up front. You pay when it ships.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's
I
interesting.
pre-order everything on Amazon. Every game I can think of. Like the week of E3, I pre-ordered 15 games.
See, because that's more appealing to me. Um,
My wife would have killed me if I spent $600 in 1 week
yeah,
on
because
video
I
games.
might actually have the money by then, as opposed to right now where I have none.
And there's no penalty to cancel it. So it's like if you know it's something you're going to pick up like the day it comes out, like there's no reason not to pre-order on Amazon because they don't charge you until it ships. And if there's beta access or anything like that associated with it, um, you get it. Like you're signed up for it, even though you didn't put anything down. Now the catch is now they've started this thing. I think they might have caught on to some things. Also, it kind of depends on how high profile or what they're actually giving you is. Um, there is now they're starting this pre-purchase movement
Where you actually purchase it.
where you actually purchase it, and I started noticing during E3 because, pardon my language here, the South Park games, Stick of Truth. Um, you get that for free when you pre-purchase South Park Fractured Butthole.
Hmm.
You get that on like PS4 or Xbox One if you just for pre-purchasing the game. Now, that is not the same thing as pre-ordering. And there was something else too that did that. So I don't know if maybe this beta was the alpha was like the same way. Usually betas and alphas they don't care if you pre-purchase. Sometimes it's just like here, you whatever. They send it to anyone that has interest in the game, and you show interest in it by pre-ordering it. So, and as long as they're releasing like a physical copy and you can pre-order it from Amazon, just just put it in your cart. Just make yourself a reminder to cancel it like a couple days before it's actually supposed to ship. If you don't have the money.
Yeah, because I noticed I'm looking right now for Battlefield 1. I can do the online game code, which is how I've been doing things lately because I don't want the extra box sitting around my house for games that I'll install it and then I won't need the damn disc. So um, if you do the online game code, it gives you a code to Origin, which is where the game can be downloaded from anyway. So I might actually do that. And it does say that you won't be charged for pre-order until it's available for download. So,
Yeah, so like I said, there's no reason not to anything. There's no reason not to do that. So
yeah. So I might do that. And then, yeah, so anyway, I've been playing that game, and we had an NDA until yesterday.
okay,
And they just unlocked a new mode for the game that I don't know if that's public yet, so I can't say what that is. But the overall NDA is we're allowed to play the game and stream it now, and take screenshots. And the only stipulation is we can't tell a lot of the we can't tell anything we see in the development forums and the obviously because it's closed alpha still, and can't tell any of the major gameplay things with it. So
of course not.
no, but I've liked it so far. There's a couple issues I have, but it's the same issue that everyone has with it, so it's not.
Does it now? This might sound kind of weird. Does it feel like Battlefield?
It does, but it feels. Let's put it this way: I was playing it with the intention of not playing very long, because I just wanted to try it out the night that I downloaded, and I think I played about 6 rounds of it, and I meant to play 1,
Okay.
and I didn't even realize where the time had gone, and then I ended up quitting after that because I saw that my dad was on Battlefield 4, and so I was like, oh, I'll play Battlefield 4 with him for a while. And I played about 3 rounds of that, and I was like, yeah, I'm kind of done with Battlefield 4. I liked What I liked about Battlefield 1 as opposed to 4 is when you have people flying, it's a lot easier to control because it's slower. Whereas in Battlefield 4, it's all modern tech, so it like goes a lot faster.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's the new tanks and the new spawning of the stuff. When you spawn into tanks or planes, you get to choose which type you want.
Okay.
So there's like 3 different classes of tank and 3 different classes of airplane. And you get to choose. I can't remember for the life of me what the names of them are right now, but there's different classes. Like, you get like a light version, you get a fighter, and you get a like a bomber or a missile tank. So it's really cool to be able to do that. And then when you spawn into the stuff, like, you actually get to see yourself floating from the 3D overview of a map, and going right into that spot, like through the clouds and everything, right to the ground.
Okay.
So and that's been in the preview videos, so that's nothing new. But I really love the feel of it. It's a lot easier to control. Right now, the alpha doesn't have gamepad access. It's all mouse and keyboard. So it's a little bit difficult for me at this point, because I've gotten used to playing with the Xbox controller on Battlefield 4. But I like the feel of it. There's a couple things I think they need to tweak as far as like the control bindings are concerned, with like, because there's some things that they don't like use the mouse for that they used to in Battlefield 4.
Mm-hmm.
Based on the way that it's set up. But I don't know, it's got kind of a nice mix of like some features that people like from like Call of Duty kind of mixed in there, but it's got a very old school kind of feel to the Battlefield, instead of this like modern. It doesn't seem as like high paced it is the stuff. I mean, yeah, there's the high pacedness of it, but it's not like you're getting killed by somebody from the other side of the map who shoots through 3 brick walls and sees you on the ground, and has infrared and can see through everything. So like, you very much have to have skill and actually be able to play and know what your objective is.
Okay.
I know it's kind of vague and it's not really descriptive, but
It's just,
I'm kind of fresh to the first person shooters in recent years compared to like the old days of like Unreal Tournament and stuff. And you figured the last Unreal Tournament that was officially released was in 2007, so that's the last time I actually played a first person shooter. Besides, I think I'd played some of the old Call of Duties or Battlefields. I think I've played the first Battlefield and was out on like the GameCube.
Battlefield?
I think it came out on the GameCube.
I don't think it was the first one though, because I was playing.
Well, I meant like it was an older one. I remember the map's been translated a couple times because they have it in BF4, but
the first one was Battlefield 1940.
That might be the game that I played. Even I can't remember.
My buddy and I put so much time into that game, and the demo for that game had online play, obviously, and I think it was only 2 maps, and it cycled back and forth between those 2 maps, but it's a Battlefield game. There's so much stuff you can do. We never bought the game. We just played the demo. Like, all the time. It was crazy. I think eventually he bought the game because he got bored of like the 2 maps, but the 2 maps were just fine for what I wanted to do with it, which was just have fun with it.
Yeah, this particular map that they have is the same one they showed at the E3 press junket, where they played for like the 45 minutes. The games are a lot faster because like the tickets are a lot lower, obviously, and it's a lot more destructive than Battlefield 4 is, which I really like. A lot more stuff can be blown away, building wise. Being that it's an alpha, there's still glitches with it, but it's been a lot of fun. Like, I'm not gonna lie, after we I''ll probably be playing that and trying to stream it. But I've I very much flip-flopped my stance on playing online since last year.
It's addicting.
It's horrible because I was playing solo for so long, and then I tried the free trial of Xbox Live on my Xbox, and that ran out. And then I canceled it before the end of it, before I could be charged. And they sent me an email saying, for 99 cents, you can have it for another month. And then I was like, okay, I'll do that. And then they sent me another email when I canceled that for, $6.99. I could get it for the next month. And then they sent me one where I can get 3 months for $14.99. And I was like, okay, done. Because I'm inching into it. I don't think I have to renew until September, but it's been so blasted addicting that I've had a hard time wanting to not play online.
Now, have you met people? Are you still kind of just playing by yourself, but with other people?
When I play on the Xbox, I just I play certain maps, and so usually the 24/7 maps, and I do that on Battlefield 4 as well on the PC. But I don't really know anybody on the Xbox version, but the PC version I've been playing since about September last year. I've been a part of a clan because my brothers and my dad all play, and they know a lot of the guys and some of them that have met up before in real life and whatnot. And the acronym for our clan is hilarious, but it's Fast Action Response Team.
Oh, okay.
So it spells
classy.
We're the Fart Clan. So
it's an Xbox Live clan.
It's actually a PC clan.
I know, but that's definitely something you'd probably find on Xbox Live.
It probably was at one point. I'm the only fart member on Xbox Live as far as I know. But so yeah, out of our clan, we all know each other pretty well. We all play a lot on the same stuff. We did have our own clan server for a little bit, but they opted to save their donation money to get a clan server when Battlefield 1 comes out.
Okay.
Rather than have one right now. Plus, there's plenty of other maps floating around right now that people can play on. So we pretty much try and band together when we're playing on another server. And anytime my brothers or my dad are playing, I join their clans automatically. And if I'm not, I'll give them intel on where the other guys are if it switches me teams by, auto.
Oh, you're a whole person.
Well, because I try and switch back. They just, sometimes, the admin will send me a thing saying, you have to stay put until the end of the round. Because they break up our team on purpose. Because we're horrible together. So I'm just yep, they're over here. Or I'll I can be sadistic when I play. I use this basic. It's not an RPG. It's MLAW. I have no idea what the acronym stands for, but it's a anti-tank weapon.
Okay. Or
anti-land vehicle. It locks on. I use it as a sniper rifle because I'm guaranteed to kill somebody if I hit them with it. Whereas a real sniper rifle, I can't hit the broadside of a barn, which I can when I play Unreal Tournament. So it's just it's very skill based. I'm not very good, but what I know how to use really well are the MLAW, a machine gun, and I use the claymores up the wazoo. I'm one of the most hated people when I play with the MLAW or the claymore. Just because I set traps everywhere I go.
See, I never care. I always play first-person shooters just for fun to meet people. That's one of the reasons I started playing online. I'm addicted to playing online. There are some games now that I can't even single-player games. I can't play without being in a party chat. I think I did 90% of Fallout 4 in a party chat.
Nice.
Because I just didn't I wanted to play the game, but I didn't want to play. I didn't want to be myself. I didn't want to be antisocial. I don't know. there are certain games where like, yeah, I'll play them by myself, but like if I'm gonna play them again, I'm gonna do some trophy grinding or something. Like that's totally gonna be. I mean, I'm gonna be in a party chat doing that the entire time. Or if it's like I did Bioshock Infinite. I did that party chat. I did the whole game in party chat with Shanzi because I was too scared to play the game by myself. Like it being in the party chat kept me just outside of getting completely caught up in the atmosphere that I was still able to have fun and enjoy the game versus going like, okay, I can't play this anymore. We're done. But no, yeah, online play is addicting. It's great when you also find like a good group of people too.
Yeah, and that's part of the fun with playing with this clan is a lot of these guys, regardless if regardless if my family's on or not, I'll play with these guys sometimes, like just to see, and it's they're really good at different things, and it's funny because we'll all play pranks on each other while we're in game or throw comments, and we use TeamSpeak for our vocals, and when we want to screw with somebody when they're in the middle of a conversation, we'll move them to another channel in our TeamSpeak folder, and they're like, "Who moved me?" Blah blah blah. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to play with these guys in particular. But I've gotten to play on some of these 24/7 servers, on like a single map of a kind. I like playing Operation Metro 2014 on. I like Operation Locker and Operation Metro, probably because those are the first two I started learning when I started playing the game. Plus on the Xbox, I've been on loop on them for a while because they're just easier for me to master. So I've gotten pretty decent at both of them to the point that I know the levels in and out, and I know what people are going to do. And if I play on the same server often enough, like there's this one called Metro Massacre, which is Operation Metro 24/7, like every day. And it's usually got a line of people waiting to get in. The same people play every week and every night, pretty much. And so I know who's going to end up on what team and how they play. So it's fun to watch the tactics going on.
Did I lose you?
Nope, still here.
Oh.
That was kind of the end of it.
No, I thought I'm sorry. Yeah. So, I'm curious. Because now you're playing online against other people. I know you said that you do some hijinks and stuff like that. Do you find yourself to be more of a run and gunner or a camper?
It depends. Like if I've got like certain areas that I like to hide in. Like in Operation Metro, my favorite area is the locker room because that's the area that there's like 4 entrances to the locker room, and well, there's 5 actually. But if you don't, that's like the one area you want to protect because you can be attacked on all sides of those entrances, and so I like to set traps in there and I like to defend it when they're around. But if that's not available, I'll go in the buildings with other guys and I'll stand there in camp for the most part until I run out of a particular weapon. Like if I'm not the guy that's got the ammo box, I run a gun. But if I'm the guy that's got the ammo box, I kind of sit and wait for people to come my direction, okay. or I'll defend an entire building and run through it. But I'm not one of the guys that'll like sit there with a sniper rifle and just wait.
Yeah. So me personally, on the 360 PS3 generation, when I would play a first-person shooter, mostly Call of Duty for the most part, I was a notorious camper. Always camping. And that's one of the reasons why I'm looking forward to Infinite Warfare, the new Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
not because I want to play Infinite Warfare. I do not, but because it comes with a HD remaster of Modern Warfare, which
Nice.
is my favorite Call of Duty. Um, the best three maps in Call of Duty, in my opinion, are Crash, Overgrown, and Vacant. And anyone that says otherwise, I will fight you. And so I'm really looking forward to play those again, and I'm pretty sure I'll go right back into my camping tactics because I was really good at sniping and camping on those maps. But that aside, when when the new generation hit with the Xbox One and the PS4, I made the conscious decision that when I would play a shooter, that I wasn't going to camp anymore. I was going to do the run and gun thing, and not care so much about my accuracy or my kill death ratio, and just actually enjoy playing the game. That's actually worked for the most part. I enjoyed the hell out of Titanfall. What little of that I played, I'm really looking forward to Titanfall 2. It's one of the reasons why I've been really enjoying Overwatch. Even playing Battlefront, like that running and gunning in Battlefront, and I'm not bad at it either. Like I'm better at camping. Don't get me wrong, camping and sniping, but I'm not bad at doing the run and gun thing, and it definitely makes it more enjoyable for my wife to watch me because she gets to see me move around and do like cool and have cool things happen on the screen versus me just looking down a scope at a narrow hallway for someone to maybe walk past a door.
Yeah,
Now-
I can definitely see that. That's one thing I noticed I was doing when I was streaming, because I was testing out like streaming software a couple of weeks ago, and I was camping at one point. I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be pretty boring for you to sit there and watch.
Yeah, but but the thing was, when I was playing on the Call of Duty, to me is always like virtual paintball, if you will. Like, I'm gonna get in this match, and I'm not gonna so much worry about how many people I kill or how many times I die, but I'm gonna just chat with my buddies. Like, I'd get in a party chat with people that I was playing with, and we just chatted up, and it was way more convenient for me to lay prone in a hallway looking at a door and have a conversation and occasionally pull the trigger than it was for me to try to do that while running and gunning, you know. But in an effort to liven things up, and I don't know if I enjoy them more or just differently, but we'll see what happens when Modern Warfare gets re-released, and I see if I start camping again. Then I was just curious. I was such a notorious camper that you know how those Tervis cups that everyone has. Danner got me one for my birthday. It was my birthday or Christmas. It's got a camping patch.
Nice.
It's got one of those. It's just a little black black patch with white stitching on it. That is a tent with a campfire in front of it. So, but yeah, no, I was just curious as to what your play style was when it came to first person shooters.
I mean, I used to play like when Unreal Tournament 2004 and Unreal Tournament 2007. I know you can still play them online, at least 2007. I haven't played them in years because it just got to be boring and monotonous. I was so good at some of these levels that I was playing that I literally didn't need the rest of my team on Unreal Tournament. So I was actually a run and gun. I wasn't a sniper guy. Even though I was pretty good with the sniper on Unreal Tournament, because unlike Call of Duty or Battlefield, it doesn't take into consideration like wind or trajectory changes. Like if you aim straight at somebody, it's going to hit them. So
yeah, I had someone told me that there was bullet drop in Call of Duty, and I wanted to tell the guy to go F himself.
Yeah, there's bullet drop in Battlefield.
In Battlefield, yes, but not Call of Duty.
Yeah, I know 100% it's in Battlefield because I watch it happen when guys like snipe, and I've watched like top 5 playthrough videos. Like there's this YouTuber, he's a first-person shooter like Battlefield and Overwatch and Rainbow Six kind of player. He's Stone Mountain 64.
Oh, I was just gonna ask if it was Stone Mountain. Yes, I love his videos.
I love his videos. I love his YOLO on the Battlefield where he's,
all up in it.
Yankee Oscar Lima Oscar, and
Oscar Mike.
Yep, Oscar Mike, and then he's in the videos and acting like he's actually in the Battlefield. But I love his top 5 videos that he does, in commentaries and everything. And then lately he's been doing all the Battlefield 1, and the fact that his team won twice on the E3 thing was funny enough.
I watching him on recommendation from some Brits that I met playing the Division. He did a couple of Division videos, and they were like, "You need to go watch these." And sure enough, they're really funny. Real quick aside, I just realized that the air conditioning was running in my house, and apparently my mic is picking that up. And I've just become aware of it, so I'm not quite sure if I should be muting myself when I'm not talking, or if we should just let it go.
We can just let it go. I heard a little bit of buzzing here or there, but it's not enough that it...
Okay.
I'm not editing, so...
Okay, I just didn't know, like, I caught it, and so anyone that's listening, like, I was muting my mic, so it went away and would come back, but I won't mute it anymore, so there's at least some consistency going on.
Yeah.
With the audio, so...
But yeah, that guy, I love watching his videos. Like, he's one of my... He's actually the only game-playing YouTuber I watch, typically. Like, there might be a few others here or there, but he's, like, the main one because I like the personality.
You know, I watch... there's a couple of YouTubers Okay, Allie and I watch Netflix, Hulu, and then a lot of YouTube.
Yeah,
like,
I watch a lot of YouTube.
Down for dinner, and we get caught up on YouTube channels. We sit on the couch because we're heathens like that. If I cook out, then we eat at the kitchen table, but or at the dining room table. But if it's just like we're gonna get pizza or we're gonna do this or the other thing, we just sit on the couch and watch it. But some of my favorites. They're kind of the guys that get called out a lot, but I watch Funhouse, and Jim Sterling, Movie Bob, which I know a lot of unpopular opinions, but I don't really think he's necessarily wrong in his opinions. I know they're unpopular, but I don't necessarily think he's wrong. We tried watching PewDiePie. I don't get the appeal of that. Why is he... Robus is another big one for us. Love Robus. And then, of course, Stone Mountain. There's a whole bunch of other ones here. But, yeah. No, it's... Did anything at E3 catch your eye? Besides Battlefield 1?
Yeah, that was the big one. When that trailer dropped, I was like, oh my god! Yeah, my brother and I were doing live texting commentary on all of that. The Mass Effect Andromeda, I'm interested in.
I don't know.
But I don't... It really wasn't a trailer, per se. It was like... It looked like 20 seconds of Andromeda and like a whole minute of other crap before it. Of like, oh, the development, blah, 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 blah. And then they showed a little bit of it, and I was like, that really wasn't as enticing as I was hoping for, but it'll probably get delayed.
No.
But the VR stuff looked pretty interesting. The Star Trek VR and the PlayStation. I was like, man, if that's anything to sway people from Xbox to PlayStation.
Okay.
Like, I'm not like one of those huge like VR type people anyway. I liked the capability of the Star Trek VR, and the Arkham VR looked interesting to me, but it really wasn't anything of a trailer. Other than Mark Hamill talking. So
the thing you touched on two things here. I'll do the Star Trek one first. The Star Trek Bridge Simulator is cool, but it is the worst looking virtual reality game I have seen yet.
Yeah, like, I wasn't going to say it looked very good. It
doesn't look good at all. I couldn't even believe they brought that. Like, on what plane of existence do you bring this to E3 in 2016
with graphics like that? It should look realistic, but no Star Trek game in recent history has looked very good.
Need to look realistic. That stuff looks like it was like PS2, maybe. Like,
Xbox One or Xbox Classic.
Yeah, yeah, like why did you bring that? Um, Maybe it's completely different in VR. I don't know, but that did not look good at all. Like I would rather have seen like just some made up mock trailer than what they showed, because that I did not like. The idea is cool, but the way that looked, I was like, no way. Um, as for VR, I'm 75% sure that I'm going to end up with a PlayStation VR. Um, the biggest reason I might end up with one is because I like new things. Um, but I like the idea of this is going to sound kind of lame, but the virtual couch. Kind of like how, Nintendo, you with the Wii U, you have that off-screen play, like you can leave the TV off and play a game on the controller. PlayStation VR has the ability to project a certain size TV in front of you so that you can play your games, not necessarily in VR 3D, but you can play your games and it's a simulated like 60-inch TV in front of you with headphones on, and you're not annoying your wife sitting on the couch next to you. Granted, you look like a moron with a VR helmet on.
Yeah.
But still, that kind of interests me in that regard. But I also think VR kind of clicked with me at E3, and I definitely 100% believe it's something that you have to experience. I do not think it is the same thing as 3D. And
yeah, 3D I'm not enticed with. The VR, like the immersing yourself in it, that has me more enthusiastic for it.
But I will say this. I said, I will say, VR is not 3D, but what is missing from all the videos you see of VR games is 3D. Like, you're missing the fact that it's, because all the videos you watch are 2D. You're missing the fact that not only is that projected to you in 3D in front of you, it's in 3D in front of your entire field of vision in 360 degrees. Like, that is not the same thing as a 3D television. It dawned on me that that's what's missing when you're watching people play VR games and you're watching YouTube videos of VR games and you're looking at it. Because I admit this, I looked at a lot of them, I've watched a lot of them, and go, that's really cool, but I don't understand why that's a VR game. And then I kind of had to put on my VR goggles, my little, that little thing you do when you're kids when you make the circles and then you flip them upside down over your eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just made that face even though no one can see me. I had to put those on, and all of a sudden it kind of clicked in my head. So I'm intrigued to see by what it can do. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the smaller things that make me interested. The one thing I would really like to see, don't know if it's possible. I would like to see that Fallout 4 is getting made in VR, or getting a VR patch. I would like to see that come to the PS4. Not to go too far down the E3 path, because I know you want to get to playing some Battlefield. Mostly because I want to hit on something, but okay. I want to give you a chance to share. What was the craziest or most disappointing thing that you saw out of E3?
Trying to remember because it's been a few weeks. I mean, I really wasn't that enthused with like the new Xbox, which I think that was kind of the general consensus.
Mine's in that same boat. So
because I felt like they were doing like a quick cash grab, whereas like PlayStation's like, yeah, we're not coming out with a new box. We're gonna give you virtual reality.
That was, well,
and their trailers were like wham bam, they were just, instead of having some like ongoing commentary. And then we got to see like the Halo Wars 2 thing, and I was like, yeah, I could take it or leave it for a lot of the Microsoft stuff.
Yeah, like Sony definitely took E3 hands down, in my opinion. And I'm sorry we're getting to this conversation a day late, or like a couple weeks late, but now people can blow up the comment threads with how crazy I am or we are.
Well, I'm in agreement. I mean, I'm not a huge PlayStation fan. I haven't played PlayStation really since the PS2 days, and that's only because, and truthfully, I didn't mind the PlayStation 2, or a PlayStation franchise itself. It's just I had a experience with it where my saved files died, and I just sold it all off and waited until I could get the Xbox 360.
So the Xbox One S, I think it's gonna bomb. This is not original idea of mine, but it's a theory that I get behind wholeheartily because Microsoft has done it before.
Well, they did it with the 360. They came out with the 360, then the 360 Elite, then the Slim.
That's different. And the S is exactly what they should do anyway. That the S is a logical progression of a console as everyone knows it. Okay. It's Microsoft. Sony did it with the PS3. There are 3 different versions of a PS3. There's the fat, there's a slim, and then there's the super slim. Okay, a console redesign is not unheard of. But what Microsoft did is they got up there, they announced the S. It's coming this fall. It's gonna make all your games are gonna run in HDR. If you have a 4K TV, they're gonna look great. Not running at 4K, but they're gonna give you the high dynamic range, so the improved color spectrum, which is awesome. It's a 4K Blu-ray player for $299. Great. Message, you're on point. You've almost got me reconsidering buying another one, just because it's a 4K Blu-ray player.
Mm-hmm.
But then you end your conference by announcing a brand new console.
Yeah, the Project Scorpio or whatever.
That's coming a full 18 months later.
And it's like you've already screwed the pooch on your next console release. Like, nobody's going to buy the Slim. They're going to wait until the 18 months.
Here's the bug I want to put in everyone's ear, and this is not my idea. I heard this from somebody else. I can't remember who to attribute it to, so I apologize to that person, but I get behind it wholeheartedly. Because as I said before, Microsoft has done this before. The marketing behind the Scorpio is that it will play all of your Xbox One games. Xbox One games, or Scorpio games, will be playable on Xbox One. Albeit they might not run as well, and all this blah 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 blah. They're promoting this cross-play thing, like one game, multiple systems, what have you. Okay. Theory, the negative theory, the critical theory that popped up, and I'm behind this 100%, is Microsoft has 18 months to see how well the Xbox One S does against the PlayStation 4, which is trouncing them all over the place. It's not even funny. And so they have 18 months to see how well it does. And worst case scenario is that the Xbox One S doesn't sell very well. They don't make up any ground against Sony. And they cut and run. All of a sudden, the Xbox Scorpio is a completely separate console. Does not, has its own games that are only playable on the Scorpio. And they completely, wholeheartedly launch into the next generation of consoles. Microsoft has done that before. They did it with the Xbox going into the Xbox 360. The Xbox got beat like cold cocked by the PlayStation 2, and Microsoft, hemorrhaging money, jumped the gun and released the Xbox 360. Now, when I say jump the gun, I don't say they released faulty hardware, Red Ring of Death aside. They were tired of losing, so they brought about the next generation way earlier than they were supposed to, and they completely obliterated the Xbox. There's nothing stopping them from doing the same thing if the Xbox One S doesn't sell. Like, if they don't move Xbox Ones, There's nothing stopping them from cutting and running and completely changing the marketing speak, because changing their marketing speak is all they've done with the Xbox One since day one.
Yeah, I don't really know what they're gonna do. Like I hope that they can, you know, I don't know. I'm so like not. I'm so in that I don't care mood of like Xbox at this point.
And also, I don't believe in a second that the Scorpio is going to do anything that they said it's going to do at a reasonable price. I don't buy it.
No,
not for a second. Not for anything I'm going to be able to afford. No way. Now, I don't want people coming at me saying I'm a Sony fanboy, because Sony has also confirmed that there is a PlayStation 4K or a PlayStation 4.5 or a PlayStation Neo coming. And I 100% going to buy that. And the marketing speak for the PlayStation, the PlayStation 4.5, 4K, what have you, is exactly what Microsoft is going from the Xbox One to the Project Scorpio. Like, Neo game or PlayStation 4K games play on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 4 games play in PlayStation 4K. Same chat interface, same friend groups, everything. The only difference is, because of the position that Sony is in, I'm more willing to believe them than I am to believe Sony. I'm more willing to believe Sony than I am to believe Microsoft, because Sony's winning. Like,
well, Sony's track record is so much better.
It's better, but I also think we're coming into this market. I feel like I brought this up before.
It happens.
I feel like we brought this up before, that we're heading into the one big thing that's happened from the last generation, from the PS3 and the 360 to where we are now. The one big thing that happened was cell phones. And people bought cell phones in increments. I brought up earlier today how I have, let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 iPhone boxes on my desk. That is, well, to be honest, my first iPhone I dropped in a pond. So I have boxes for all 9 iPhones that have been released. That is one iPhone a year for the last 9 years. Like, that's never happened. Except there are other people out there that have done that besides me. Like, lots of people that have done that besides me. And Sony knows this. Microsoft knows this. And the idea is, if they can sell you incremental hardware upgrades, not everyone has to upgrade, but a certain install base will upgrade again. As long as they maintain the backwards compatibility of backwards compatibility is going to be huge here. Like, that's what's going to drive this model, because there are apps that I bought on my iPhone 3G that I still use on my iPhone 6S. And so the only way type of model succeeds where you can run like, if you have PlayStation 4K, or if you have a PlayStation 4, you can run all the games. They both run the same games. The only way you can do that is if I forgot where I was going. First, if you just add backwards compatibility, is basically what I'm saying. Through and can pull their stuff forward, but you're not really out anything if you don't upgrade for a couple of years, 3-4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it helps them keep like ahead. And what will it work? I don't know, but that's what also happens with PC gaming. You buy a new graphics card every few years. It's the same idea. But that's the big shift. That's the big thing that happened from the last generation to this current generation, is everyone saw what happened with cell phones, and people were willing to buy a new cell phone at minimum probably every 2 years, due to contracts and subsidies and stuff like that. So I'm on board with the PlayStation 4K. I'm ready for it, mainly because my wife gave me the go-ahead, because I want a 4K Blu-ray player. but she was not okay with me paying $399 for the Samsung 4K Blu-ray player that only plays Blu-rays.
Mm-hmm.
But paying $399 for a PlayStation 4K that plays PlayStation 4 games and is a 4K Blu-ray player, that she's on board with. So that makes business sense, anyways. $100 for a console and $200 for a 4K Blu-ray player. That's not bad.
No.
So, but yeah, the Scorpio thing. So Microsoft was just all over the place, and I'm glad that Sony made the decision not to bring 4K or the PS4K to E3. My other prediction is I think we will see it at the Tokyo Game Show, which is in September. And the PlayStation VR launches in October. Some of the little things that I've read suggest that PlayStation VR runs better on the newer hardware than on the older stuff. So to me, it would only make sense to try to launch the upgrade at the same time in a short window. Because remember, they don't need to sell them; they just have to put them on the market.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that people really don't understand about the play. I think people don't understand about the 4K is because Sony is so far ahead in this console race. They just have to put it out there. They don't have to sell it. So I don't. We've been all over the place tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you one comment will be about how random this episode was.
I'm sure.
And I apologize. That's partially my fault, but I haven't been on that much, and I had a lot of stuff to share, and I had a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah. Which is good.
And if I'm on more regularly, that shouldn't it shouldn't happen that much. So.
Oh, I definitely intend on bringing you back. So.
Like I said, I gotta this Thursday we should be okay. The following Thursday I'll be in Columbus, but I'll have internet access and I'll be there by myself. My wife is coming down a week later. After that probably depends on how easily my wife and I get into a groove living in a new place. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it would be. I don't think it'll be that big of a problem for me to do like a regular Thursday night thing. The only thing I can see getting in the way would be my new job, because while it's like a standard 8-hour job, 7 to 4 typically. I'm the only person in Ohio is a one-man market, so if something happens at 10 o'clock at night at a movie theater and they call and it's like a major thing, I have to go take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I really see getting in the way because I've been really wanting to sit down and podcast again, except I really haven't had the nerve to run my own show yet. So
it depends. Like lately, I've wanted to just game instead of record, but then I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna record, and then I'm like, but I want to game.
Trust me, I know exactly how that goes. So I think that's it for me. I don't want to go on too long. I don't want people to tune out. I want people to come back.
So, as you've no doubt heard, there were technical difficulties at the end of the record. There were some issues between the actual call recorder we use and the one that I was using, because I reverted to a old version of MP3 recorder. It wasn't an old version, but an old program that I used to go to record the podcast on Skype. And so after the call, we were playing around with this other technology, like Zencaster, I think it was called, where it does it all through the browser. You don't need Skype. You don't need any of that. It saves the files to your Dropbox. And it's in kind of a beta right now, so they're not charging, but it's a new thing to try out. So in the meantime, during that, I upgraded my Skype, which apparently it seems to update about every week now, which is a little retarded in my opinion. Because one, I don't get the notification it needs to be updated, and two, it causes incompatibility issues with whoever I'm on a call with, so I can't call for whatever reason more than one person. I think something's wrong with my Skype anyway, because no matter what I do, I can't hear when somebody's trying to call me. I always notice after I see the missed call. I turned it off a long time ago, but I reactivated it and reset everything to default, and it's still messed up. So I have that, and then when Skype's out of sync, my call recorder won't record. And then this other one doesn't tell me how long it's been recording for. There's no like numbers or anything. It just says it's recording. Well, I got a notification that it crapped out during the record, and it actually hadn't crapped out. It was in the process of crashing, so it still was recording, even though I thought it wasn't. And then I stopped it, and I couldn't get it to record again after that. So yeah, that was the end of the episode pretty much. Didn't miss anything. I do have a few kind of geeky questions to ask pertaining to the episode. What are your thoughts on the new website, for one? Like, I'm really curious about that since I get into more of it and explain kind of what happened this week. The other thing I have is that I'm kind of wondering about. See, I got the closed alpha for Battlefield 1. Is there anything you guys would want to see me play on that or do? I did do a live stream last night after I recorded Altered Geek with Mike Booth Ninja, and streamed it on YouTube Live. What I'll probably start doing is I'll probably start setting an actual record time for my live streams of Battlefield 1. So if you're interested in Battlefield 1, I'll be doing that for the foreseeable future. In addition to that, I'll probably be doing... I do plan on some top 5 videos that I've got kind of in the pipe ready to record and edit and everything, and I'm kind of playing around with some of the stuff pertaining to that. I'm waiting on a custom intro that I have for the live stream stuff, and then or for my gaming content, and so there's that too. I apologize, my allergies flared up. I'm having to record this the next day because, like I said, I was recording for over an hour on Battlefield 1 when I was doing that. So yeah, it's little difficulties because, like, I haven't actually had to record most of my own calls for a little bit because, like, when I have Blanchard on, his usually works and mine does not. But what do you guys think that we should do for episode 150 of the podcast? Like, I have some ideas. Like, I was thinking about visiting older news articles and telling whether we were full of it, or giving a modern look at that from older podcast episodes, or revisiting old comments and kind of giving it an up-to-date answer to them, or having like, you guys could call into the voicemail line, save some stuff, or record an MP3 and send it to us, and we'll play it on the show. Because this will be the 3 years of the podcast this August, first week of August that we record, and it'll be episode 150 of the podcast. I'm really looking forward to the fact that the show is still going. It's the only podcast to hit episode 150 at this point, and still going. There's some that have hit close to that, but without the numbering system. Mine's purely the numbering system. So, and then, like I said, is according to the Battlefield 1, what are some games you wished you'd gotten early access to? Because, like, I wasn't thinking I was going to get this closed alpha for Battlefield 1, but somehow I ended up with it. So I'm really happy that I ended up with it. But what are some games that you were hoping to get access to? And then, as always, our episode was sponsored by Loot Crate. It's a monthly subscription box for geeks, nerds, comic book lovers. Each box contains at least $45 in value, and many items are exclusively created for the Loot Crate community. And each crate is centered around a theme, obviously, and you can get the box for $19.95. And you can use the coupon code TBV when you go to lootcrate.com/GCRN, and you'll save $3 off any new subscription. It's only valid for new subscribers, so be sure to go check that out. This month's crate is futuristic, so it's things like Rick and Morty, Futurama, Star Trek, Mega Man, Valiant Comics, and then you'll get models and figures and monthly tees and a pin. So be sure to check out our sponsor and support the show as always. So until next week, get altered, get geeky with the Altered Geeks.